So you're standing in front of the mirror, staring at a frizzy, unmanageable mess, and you were just wondering, why on earth isn't this wildly expensive hair mask working? I mean, you've tried the heavy oils, you've bought the luxury masks, you've tested every single trendy Instagram hack out there, and your hair is still absolutely refusing to behave. Well, we are about to completely change that.
Because the answer actually lies in one brutally honest, shocking scientific reality. Your hair? It's already dead. It is entirely made of dead protein that stopped living the absolute second it pushed out of your scalp. And because it's dead, you can't feed it back to life any more than you could revive a falling autumn leaf. No matter how many fancy treatments, deep conditioning spa days, or viral rice water rinses you throw at it, it is not going to magically come back to life.
Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to the explainer on the true science of transforming your hair. Since we know the hair shaft is totally dead, the only real way to get that amazing hair is to fix it from the inside out, properly nourish the living scalp, and relentlessly protect those delicate strands from external damage. To figure this out, we're looking at a 5-step framework. We'll quickly hit the foundation, treating your scalp like skin, the wash routine, stopping friction and heat, and finally, salon versus home. Let's get right to it. Phase 1, the foundation and bad habits. All right, first things first, we've got to break some seriously bad habits. You know those tight, slicked back buns you wear every day? Stop them. The constant tension actually causes traction alopecia, which is permanent hair loss. Next, hard tap water. It leaves this brittle mineral buildup on your strands, so try finishing off your shower with a filtered water rinse. Also, never, ever rake a brush through soaking wet hair. That is when it is at its absolute weakest. Use a wide tooth comb instead. And finally, make sure you rotate your shampoo every couple of months so your scalp doesn't adapt and just stop responding to it. This brings us to your internal health, and there's a really fascinating biological priority list happening inside you right now. Your body operates on strict survival rules. Your vital organs, they get nutrients first. Your hair, it gets them absolute last. So if your body is low on anything, it just cuts off resources to the hair follicles way before you ever feel any physical symptoms. If you're dealing with unexplained breakage or thinning, getting a full nutritional blood panel looking at protein, iron, vitamin D, and B12 is absolutely crucial. A surface-level shampoo just can't fix an internal deficiency. Which brings us to a magic number, 1. Specifically, 1 gram of protein per kilo of body weight every single day. Since your hair is made almost entirely of a protein called keratin, you absolutely have to fix your internal diet. You should be aiming for that 1 gram target by eating things like eggs, chicken, paneer, lentils, Greek yogurt, or whey. And honestly, if you're vegetarian, you have to be extra careful to track this and actually hit those protein targets. Moving on to phase 2, treat your scalp like skin. Think about your facial skincare routine for a second. If you drown your face in heavy oil without properly cleansing it off, your pores get completely congested and you break out, right? Well, guess what? Your scalp does the exact same thing. In fact, scalp hair follicles are even larger and more porous. When you drown your scalp in heavy oils, it easily clogs those follicles and literally feeds the yeast that causes dandruff, which leads straight to hair fall. Realizing that the old myth of a heavy, weekly scalp oiling is actually causing hair loss, that is a massive aha moment for so many people. So you need to stop the heavy scalp oiling. Keep your oils strictly for the mid-lengths and ends of your hair. Instead, swap those heavy oils for targeted scalp serums, stuff like density, oil control, or growth serums. And just as importantly, introduce a massage. Use your fingers or a little tool to gently move the scalp skin over your skull. Think of it exactly like a facial gua sha. This physically increases blood flow to the hair follicles without suffocating them in heavy grease. Phase 3. The scientific wash routine. Just like with skincare, the specific sequence of what you apply to your hair matters immensely. Step 1 actually happens 20 to 30 minutes before you even turn the shower water on. Apply a pre-shampoo mask or oil to the middle and ends of your hair. This is revolutionary because it stops moisture from being stripped out during the wash, and it prevents the delicate hair shaft from absorbing too much water and swelling up, which is what causes so much breakage. Step 2 is a double cleanse but focused only on the scalp, and Step 3 is your conditioner, applied again only on the mid-lengths and ends. Let's talk about that double cleanse strategy for a second because it's an absolute game changer if you have an oily scalp. And here's a major pro tip. Shampoo is strictly for the scalp. The suds alone are enough to wash the lengths of your hair naturally as they rinse down, so do not scrub your ends.
Wash number 1 should use a gentle but clarifying shampoo to break down heavy oils, styling product buildup, and daily pollution. Wash number 2 is where you bring in a nourishing, smoothing shampoo to properly cleanse the scalp now that the barrier of grime is gone.
Next up is the conditioner stack. Always, always use a regular rinse-out conditioner for 2 to 3 minutes. Never leave your hair unconditioned. A deep mask is great a few times a month for extra hydration. But listen to this, those super expensive bond repair treatments, they're actually a complete waste of money unless your hair is color-treated, heavily bleached, or seriously heat damaged. Finish everything up with a leave-in conditioner to lock in moisture. And hey, if you want that viral glass hair look, an optional in-shower acidifier spray works beautifully to lay the cuticle flat for a super glossy shine.
Phase 4. Stopping friction and heat damage. To really understand why your hair gets so damaged outside the shower, you have to understand the hair cuticle. Think of the cuticle like tiny overlapping scales on your hair shaft that look a lot like overlapping roof tiles on a house. When you sleep on a rough cotton pillowcase or you rub your head with a thick, heavy bath towel, it acts exactly like sandpaper. It aggressively drags against the direction of those tiles, lifting them up and chipping them right off. This brutal daily microdamage across years is the true underlying cause of long-term frizz.
Now here's a massive myth we need to bust right now. A lot of us are completely terrified of the blow dryer, thinking air drying is the ultimate safe bet. But actually, prolonged air drying is way more damaging. When your hair is wet, it swells, and the cuticle lifts in its absolute weakest, most fragile state. Leaving it soaking wet for hours causes significant damage. A controlled low to medium heat blow dry, where you make sure to point the airflow downward to follow the direction of those roof tiles, safely seals that cuticle flat and smooth. It's totally wild to think we've had this backwards for so long.
And look, if you're still worried about the heat destroying your hair's internal structure, just remember this number: 200. The keratin protein bonds in your hair only actually start to break down and sustain structural damage above 200 degrees centigrade. A normal blow dryer, when you use it properly, never even comes close to reaching that 200-degree threshold.
So to defend against all this friction, we just need to make some quick physical swaps. Ditch the cotton pillowcase for silk or synthetic satin, and swap out that rough bath towel for a microfiber one. And remember, pat, don't rub. Outside the house, always use a heat protectant spray before using any hot tools and a silicone-based serum to block out humidity. And don't forget the environment. UV rays break down hair melanin exactly like they damage your skin, and PM 2.5 city pollution literally settles on the scalp, triggering inflammation. So throw on a hat or use an antioxidant serum if you live in a busy, polluted city.
Finally, Phase 5, the wallet saver.
Let's talk about where you should actually be spending your hard-earned cash. Salons are fantastic, but you do not need everything they sell. Pay a pro for anything that requires precision or harsh chemicals. Custom developer color, bleach formulas perfectly mixed for your specific hair type, and structural foundation haircuts, these genuinely require professional skill and minimize long-term damage. Also, keratin smoothing or hair Botox treatments involve intense chemicals and should absolutely stay in the salon. But those expensive spa treatments, deep conditioning masks, scalp facials, hair spas, and hot oil treatments are basically just luxury experiences. You can easily buy the products and do them right at home for literally 1/10 of the price. Save your money.
So, we arrive at the core thesis of this entire explainer. Good hair is not luck, and it's definitely not about expensive products. It is informed consistency. It is not about jumping on every new viral trend you see online. The true secret is just understanding the basic science of your scalp's skin, knowing how your cuticles work, and strictly sticking to a consistent, logical framework. Which brings us to our final question for you. Your hair is dead. You cannot magically revive it. But knowing everything you know now about the science of your scalp and those little cuticle roof tiles, what will you change in your routine today to actually protect it? It's time to stop wasting money on fads and put this scientific framework to work immediately. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.